hook it to my FX. I'm going to wind up sleeving this because I'll put some shrink tubing or something around it, because this nice spring on there will scratch the black anodizing, and that would annoy. Alright, so that's on there. The gun's got some air in it, I'm sure. Oh yeah, scads, it's almost full. Enough for a sample though. The bleed valve is closed. I've moved the secondary needle up to less than 2,000 psi, so let's turn it back on. A bit like that better. So to give you an idea of what this sounds like, it sounds like a washing machine. Okay, there's our vent. So they've got these set real low just for testing apparently. It's still building internal pressure because I've got way more than 2,000 psi in the gun already, so it's building its internal pressure. I can see the valve starting to move, and it's turned off. So it turned off at the at the secondary pressure that I set. That's really kind of interesting. Alright, they need to do or what I thought was a secondary. So I'm going to purge this. Okay, so the bleed valve is the top. We looked at where the purges air. The bleed valve purges out the top hole. Okay, I'll close that back up. So when you push this down, you can, the little silver finger here is what you're turning, and you can move these thusly. But you can't, and I'm sorry my finger's in the way, you can't get them to switch sides. So if that's the pressure it's going to shut off is this lower needle as I have them set here, well then that's pretty silly. I'm going to recheck those instructions. Okay, I think what we have is bad English. I think what we have is some bad English here. It says, it is recommended to set the primary needle to the desired fill pressure and the secondary needle to 100 psi or more. Period. Well, being that you can't switch the sides of the needles, that must be reading that and having seen what we just saw, which is the first needle the pressure gauge comes up to is where it's going to shut it off. The secondary needle must have to be 100 psi more, not or more, but 100 psi more. I don't know what applications you would have these two items for, these two needles for. But that's the only way it's going to work here. I'll have to call Air Guns of Arizona and verify that, but I think it's just bad English in the instructions. Bad grammar. So what we're going to do is we're going to set the what I'll call the primary needle up here to 4,000 psi, and the one right next to it just barely more, like that, if you can see that. And in fact, that's how it came to me. They were set very close together, but they were over by 6,000 psi. And my understanding is they test each one of these, the manufacturer rep tests each one at the AOA shop before they're sent out. So, which explains why there was a little moisture in the tank, etc., etc. So, let's try it again. We'll turn it on. There'll be a little delay. Excuse me. Okay. Got our bleed valve closed. And hit start. Alright, so we're learning as we go here. When you hear it vent, you can see our needles dropping quite a ways down. That's why they say don't set it any more than necessary. So at this point I'm going to have to stop. We're going to have to stop, and I will set the purge properly. They've apparently got them set both down to, purge constantly just about, and that was probably for testing. So let me review the instructions and we'll set it. Alright, well hopefully you can see this. I've read the instructions, and what we've got here is these two little knobs here. They're little finger knobs, although you could use a jeweler's screwdriver if you wanted. The left knob is the duration of time the valve stays open. So how long is it going to squirt air? This is currently all the way down to nothing. Again, there's tests. So that's where we're getting that short burst. The right hand knob is in minutes. So the first knob is in seconds. The right hand knob is in minutes, which is the duration between times it vents. According to their instructions, if you're filling a gun directly from the compressor, which is what we were doing, you want to set the left knob to 2 or 3 and the right knob to 3 minutes. So what they're saying is you want it to vent air for 2 to 3 seconds. So that's right about there. And you want it to do it every 3 minutes. Now this is a general rule, and 3 minutes is pretty damn short. Half a minute. However, I'm going to go with that and see how much moisture I'm getting out of the separator. I don't know where this was developed, where this compressor was developed, or what testing they did with it, but I know Air Guns of Arizona is in Arizona. So if that's where they got their average, then it's nowhere near enough for me. But I'm hoping they took into account that it would be sold just about everywhere. We're going to try it as it is now. So let's get her going again.